Hello, beautiful people. Welcome or welcome back to Alexis Say Yoga. I'm so very glad that you've decided to join me today. Today's class, we are going to find some movement to help us feel a little lighter throughout our day, to help us move a little easier, and to lift our energy. Now, be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons down below. Those really help me out. Roll out your mat, and let's get into it. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to another week of yoga. Sending that right foot back. We are going to start by finding our mountain pose. Bringing ankles under knees, under hips. We'll pick up the toes, spread them out nice and wide, and set them down. We'll lift the shoulders up to the ears, work them back and down the spine, up to the ears, back and down, finding a few shoulder rolls. As we move to our mountain pose, rotating the pinky fingers forward, gently pulling the head back so the ears are over the shoulders. We'll close the eyes as we press down through the toes to lift tall through the top of the head and take a few deep breaths. Envisioning our breath going all the way out to our fingers and our toes. And then all the way back out of the body, fully letting go of that breath before we start fresh with a new breath, new energy in through the nose. With our next in-breath, we'll reach the arms up tall to the ceiling, really reaching with the fingers. And we'll drop the elbows to cactus the arms, pulling in on the scapulas, on the shoulder blades, splaying the fingertips out wide, lift the chest. And we'll take the arms out to our T, heel-toeing the feet out towards the outer edges of our mat, or twice hips distance. We'll move to some happy elephants, twisting open one way, through center to the other. We'll lift the back heel as we turn to take some of the load out of the knees, as we start waking up the shoulders, the hips, the spine. Slowly letting the arms run out of momentum to come to our sides. And we're going to heel toe the feet out about double what they were before. Now turning toes away from each other and heels in. We'll extend the arms out wide to our star pose. And we're going to wiggle out a little bit here. We can shake out the hands, shake out the arms, wiggle the hips side to side. We can lift the chest up to the ceiling and take up space. And with our next exhale, we'll sweep the arms out wide as we swan dive the chest forward, moving to our wide-legged forward fold. Now we can keep the feet where they are, toes pointed away from each other. Or we can bring the feet parallel, finding a place that's comfortable for you in your body today. And we're going to find some way to move here in our wide-legged forward fold. So we can grab for opposite elbows and find a sway side to side. Or we can keep the hands down and walk back and forth between our feet. We can walk the hands forward out in front of the body and press the hips back. Or we can walk through the legs and reach the fingertips behind us, finding some way to move around here. We'll come back through center to bring the hands underneath of the chest. And then we're going to walk them about a foot out in front of where they were before. Planting the hands down, we'll spread the fingertips out wide and press through the ends of the fingers. Now we're going to find a forward and back shift, bringing our weight into our hands, and then finding a wide-legged down dog by pressing the hips back behind. Shifting forward and back, we can move with the breath or with whatever pace feels right to you. Good. Walk those hands back in towards the body, and we'll heel toe a little ways closer so we're still past hips distance. And then we'll bring heels in towards center, and toes will point away, adding a bend to the legs to lift us back to that star pose. We'll reach the chest up as we take some big breaths in. And let them out again. Exhale, releasing the arms down, and we'll heel toe the feet in the rest of the way towards that mountain pose. With an inhale, circle the arms up towards the ceiling, reach nice and tall. Exhale, we'll bend at the knees, pressing the hips down and back behind us as we squat to our chair pose. We can keep the arms out in front of us, or we can bring them to heart center. Again, with an inhale, we'll lengthen the legs long, reach the arms to the ceiling. Exhale, drop the elbows, cactus the arms. We'll pull those shoulder blades into the spine, and we can stay here with our chest forward, or we can find a slight back bend by lifting the chest towards the ceiling. Inhale, taking the eyes and chest forward, we'll reach the arms back up. Exhale, hinging from the waist. We'll swan dive those arms. Inhale for a halfway lift. Tabletop to the back, reach the top of the head out in front. Exhale to fold. Now we're in our regular forward fold. And we'll again find a way to move around in this pose. Maybe pedaling out the legs. Or finding a sway to the upper body. Or finding a slight bounce here. Inhale, halfway lift, engage the core, reach the top of the head forward. Exhale to fold. We'll put as much of a bend to the knees as we need to drop the hands down to the floor. Move your weight into your left foot. We'll pick up the right and step it down behind us. So it's not as far back as our normal lunge, about half the distance. Inhale to lift us halfway, flattening out the back. And then exhale, we'll fold towards our left leg for a pyramid pose. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend through the left leg to drop the fingertips down in front. We'll lift onto that left leg. Pick the right up and step it forward towards the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold towards the right leg, pyramid pose. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bending into the right leg. We'll drop the hands down on either side of our right foot. Pick up the left leg. Press it further back behind us as we move to our lunge. Now we'll sweep our right hand to the inside of our left leg, moving to our lizard pose. We can stay here up on our hands, or we can drop our left knee down to the mat. But we're going to focus on pressing the hips forward as they soften down towards the floor, while still keeping a long spine by pressing the chest forward. Now we can rock to the outer edge of that right foot, rolling to our pinky toe, or we can keep the foot planted. We can walk that foot further out to our side, or wherever it needs to go to help us find space to soften the hips. Okay, now if your left leg is hovering, we'll drop the left knee, down. We're going to pick up the right or walk the right around, coming to a tabletop. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the top of the head, lift the tailbone as we lower the stomach towards the floor. Exhale, reverse. We'll press the mid back up to the ceiling. Bring the chin to chest and tailbone under. Back and forth with our cat-cow pose. Good. Back through our tabletop. With an inhale, we'll extend the legs. Exhale, down dog. We're going to bring our left foot to the top of the mat on the outside of our hands. So our left foot is towards the left side of our mat, both hands on the inside of that left leg. Lizard pose on this side. Again, we have that option to keep the right leg lifted or to drop the right knee down. Softening the hips forward as we keep the spine long and the chest forward. Good. We're going to make our way back to that tabletop, either lifting the left leg or heel toeing it back and around. Tuck the toes under, press the hips up and back behind. We'll add a little bit more bend to the knees so we can really press those hips back. Elong from the middle fingers all the way up through the spine. And we'll add even more of a bend to the knees. Now we're going to frog hop towards our hands. And we can walk the rest of the way up. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan diving the arms will lift us all the way up to the ceiling. Exhale to cactus the arms. Lift the chest tall. Exhale, we'll lower the arms down. And we're going to rock forward and back on our feet. So we're lifting onto our tippy toes and then lifting our toes up, back and forth. Now we can also shake out our arms. Good. Bring the feet a little bit closer together to our mountain pose or till our big toes touch. We're going to lift onto our toes so our heels are coming up off the mat and take a moment to balance. Now we can bring hands to heart center or hands to the hips, but we're going to bend the knees, keep those heels up. As we press the hips back and down, move to our chair pose with the lifted heels. Couple big breaths here as we keep and hold that concentration. We're going to make our way back to standing. If we can do it with the heels up, that's great. If not, drop your heels down as we lengthen the legs. Lift us up. Exhale, drop the heels down. Do a little wiggling out, maybe a little bouncing out. And we'll come back to that mountain pose. Pressing down through the toes as we lift tall through the top of the head. A big breath in through the nose. And we'll let it go as a sigh. 2 more breaths like this. Big breath in through the nose. And out as a sigh. 1 more. Thank you so very much for joining me today. It is always such a joy and an honor to get to spend this time with you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Go in love, go in light, go in peace, and go in joy.